Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I'm bringing you guys a brand new Pokemon Sword and Shield video today. Today we'll be talking about a brand new rumor or leak that has just dropped. A couple people brought it to my attention on Twitter, and I had to cover it. This one seems pretty darn interesting. So strap yourselves in and get ready, because we may be able to take a pretty in-depth look here at what's coming for Pokemon Sword and Shield. And I'm pretty excited to talk about this post because it actually seems pretty interesting, man. And I will say, as always with these videos, they are rumor and speculation. So keep in mind that this could just be some dude making stuff up, but it also could be the first signs of some new information regarding Pokemon Sword and Shield. We've actually had a couple leaks that have already been proven to be true this leak season, so it's definitely worthwhile taking a look. In my opinion, I think it's quite fun. As always, be sure to let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments section below, and hit that like button if you guys are new, subscribe for daily Pokemon content. And without further ado, let's kind of just jump into things, man. This is some pretty crazy stuff regarding a new Eeveelution and much more. That also ties in some of the stuff we've seen from other leaks without being too focused on that. So that's what makes this pretty interesting. So let's kind of jump into it. So the first thing we see here is there's a new leak behind the scenes information. As you can see from the picture, that is one of the new Eeveelutions, which I'll show you here shortly. Pretty soon in the anime, the Alolan League will begin, and during this league I confirmed that Lanas Eevee Sandy will evolve into a new ground type Eeveelution. So I actually don't know about Lana having an Eevee named Sandy, but if that is true, that actually sounds really interesting. The other type is flying, but I haven't had a chance to grab a picture of that one. Think Fluffy Clouds. Ash's Torracat will also evolve while fighting Kyove's Charizard. I won't spoil whether Ash will become champion or not. You know the drill. So this is talking about the Alolan League anime, which I guess hasn't started yet. So that's pretty interesting stuff there. Minor spoilers perhaps, but this is talking about an Eeveelution, a ground type Eeveelution, and I'll show you guys a screenshot here in a bit. So expect a bit of a news drop. No more info until 8/31. Now for those who don't remember, the numbers on the back of, I believe it was Milo's shirt in the last trailer, were 8/31, which led us to believe that the next bit of announcement could be on 8/31. And the reason for that is they've used the jerseys in the trailers as an indicator for dates previously. Could just be coincidence, but it's definitely something to note. Trust me, it'll be worth the wait. The longest Pokemon Direct to date. Some of this may trickle out through KYOGRE, but I'm pretty certain that most of it's going to be held back. At the moment, they plan on showing the new Eeveelutions, which will be version exclusive for the first time via in-game items. I believe the items can be traded by themselves, but I'll have to check. So there's a flying Eevee and a ground type Eevee. Those two are obviously kind of counters of each other, so it's pretty interesting. Mid-evolution for the starters, so we're going to get Sobble, Scorbunny, and Grookey's evolutions. Scorbunny's looks like a lot like the first form, with flaming ears that spark when he runs. He has a cool animation where he revs up like a bike engine by dragging his feet on the floor like a bull ready to charge. So Scorbunny uses its feet to generate energy like a bull ready to charge and then takes off. Grookey has a bit more bushy fur and carries a drum that it hits with its tail, which lines up with a lot of other things we've kind of seen or heard about for Grookey, potentially getting some sort of a bongo drum or just a drum musician evolution. If you guys don't know, the French name for Grookey is actually Wheeze Tempo. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but tempo obviously is a musical term. So there's a lot of reason to believe that Grookey is actually going to get some sort of musical evolution. Sobble now has a much bigger tail that leaves a small hole in the middle of the swirl that has water in it. It looks like a stick that you would put in a bottle of bubble liquid, so like kind of like a little bubble wand, which is probably inspiration considering it literally blows bubbles attacks out of it. There is also an idle animation where it uses this to look through its tail like a magnifying glass. This again ties to the idea of this spy theme that we're apparently getting for Sobble, where it's going to evolve into some sort of a spy chameleon. Very interesting that its tail almost looks like a bubble wand that can use as a looking glass, but also as a way to generate its attacks. Two more gym leaders are shown, Ground and Fairy. The bad guys will also be shown, and a few more towns and landmarks too. So some pretty interesting stuff there. We talk about the evolutions, middle evolutions. We talk about two new Eeveelutions, a ground and a flying Eeveelution, apparently tying into the anime. I'm going to verify after I make this video about Lana's Eevee named Sandy. That's pretty crazy if she actually has an Eevee named Sandy, because that's some in-depth rumor mills here. All right, so let's kind of take a look at the next thing here. Actually, let me show you guys the Eevee. So this is the Eevee here. If I could show it to you, let me make it a little bit bigger here and kind of do some adjusting, some live edits, man. But this is I'm assuming some sort of a screenshot or drawing of the ground type Eeveelution. It does look like an Eeveelution. It leaves a little bit to be desired detail-wise, but I don't know if this is real or fake. It's hard to say. My first guess, maybe fake, but I don't know. It definitely could be real. I'm gonna verify that Lana thing because I do think that's pretty interesting. But this is the screenshot that was left with the post regarding the new Eeveelution. So let's take a look at this next post here and kind of see what the other part of this is, because this is all from the same thing, and this goes into more details about the Gigantamaxing. So there's more Galar Pokemon. There's going to be a pre-evolution of Corviknight, which I definitely believe. I do not feel that Corviknight is the an early game Pokemon. I do think it'll have a pre-evolution. A Magpie, a red dragon on all fours with lots of gold spikes running down its back, a white and blue metal fairy unicorn, and a lion that comes in 3 different forms and types, red, white, and blue, depending on where you catch it. So this is saying a handful of new Pokemon, a red dragon, this unicorn, a lion, so some pretty interesting stuff. Galar variants coming as well. Farfetch'd, Meowth, Voltorb, Murkrow, Girafarig, Combee, Buizel, Riolu, Finneon, and Croagunk evolutions will be shown too. Now this is pretty interesting. So this is 2 different things. There's going to be Galar variants, so like Alolan forms, but Galar variants, and then separately there's evolutions for these various Pokemon, including Riolu. Now that is a big curveball in my opinion, because Lucario was meant to be this super popular Pokemon, and I actually feel like it whiffed a little bit. I don't know if you look at the polls and whatever of what the most popular Pokemon are, but I don't know how high Lucario ranks, and I feel like Pokemon designed Lucario thinking it was going to be massive, but it never, in my opinion anyway, never quite gained that same popularity that something like a Greninja did. Perhaps this is their way of trying to renew that with Riolu getting a new evolution. I love the idea of a Combee evolution, you guys already know, and some of the other Pokemon are pretty interesting. Voltorb, Murkrow, Girafarig, very interesting stuff here, potentially getting new evolutions in this area. Voltorb now looks like a plain metal ball, but evolves into a different form depending on which ball you caught it with. That's very cool. Honchkrow becomes slimmer and has a skull head. Lucario's fur becomes a cape and adds more white where the black parts were. Gigantamaxing is also going to be shown. Pikachu, Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Lapras, Charizard are the Pokemon that are planned to be shown. Charizard's looks a little strange though. It's like a Chinese dragon. I don't really like it, says this leaker. I'll do air quotes. So that's pretty interesting. This Gigantamaxing, which from the previous leaks that have been proven to be true up to this point, we believe is a different kind of Dynamaxing that changes the form of the Pokemon and the appearance of the Pokemon. And this is saying that Charizard is going to get a Chinese dragon Gigantamax. Now that I do actually believe 1,000,000%, because Leon is already shown to have this Charizard, right? Charizard is obviously has 2 megas already. It would make sense that if Gigantamaxing is a thing, that Charizard is going to get a Gigantamax. Charizard is such a popular Pokemon. This all goes back to merchandise sales, man. Let's just be real here. Endgame content gets a mention. The London-inspired city at the top of the map is postgame. It will be the only town and city that you can see other players roaming around. You can take a ride on the Ferris wheel, go shopping, play mini games at stalls, and even group up to participate at the Battle Shard together. I don't know what the Battle Shard is. Maybe it's like a Frontier type facility. Very interesting. It's saying that you can see other characters roaming around. So you might actually be able to kind of do an MMORPG kind of thing where you can interact with like online people. You know, it seems like that might be kind of a thing in the wild area. Endgame, after all the news drops, they're going to talk about free post-launch DLC, festival events. Kanto Festival will be the first and add Kanto-themed clothing, Kanto characters to the Battle Shard, and make Kanto Pokemon pop up more frequently in the wild area as the event goes on. This is something I also actually believe. I do think it's very possible that they're going to support this game post-launch with some of those Pokemon that maybe weren't going to be in the original Pokedex, and that was their plan all along, so they don't want to backtrack on it. The other thing is, I think that with the max raid battles, the success of Pokemon Go, they understand that there's a benefit to keeping these games going and having people interested in these games, so having post-game content, including free DLC, could be really cool. I personally haven't seen the final evolutions, but what I've heard from the others, the leaks from the other guy were pretty spot on. I'm going to try to get some more screenshots before, but please understand it's not easy. Hopefully I can add more soon-ish. So, very interesting stuff in this one, man. I would say that when we compare to yesterday's rumors that we talked about and some of the other rumors we talked about, I do feel like this one actually sounds more legitimate, and just in terms of how it was written up. Now again, anyone can do this, right? Like pretty much anyone can make a leak. I'm gonna go do some reverse image searching on our little Eevee friend here and kind of see if I can pull up anything, and I'll let you guys know in the comments otherwise, or I'll amend the video. But definitely some interesting stuff there, especially when you talk about the Alolan League stuff and Lanas Eevee Sandy. I definitely want to look into that a little bit. But some pretty interesting stuff, man, and I think that this Galar variants and these evolutions, very cool. The Riolu one is a little strange to me, but again, maybe they feel like they kind of missed on Lucario. I want to try again, I don't know, but definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. I hope this is real though. This is one of the ones where I'm just like, man, I think this would be sick, so that'd be pretty cool. Let me know, like I said, in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll actually catch you guys on the next one. That's gonna be it for me, guys. My name is Dan. I'll also go by aDrive. See you guys next time. Peace.